So, with no further ado, everyone please meet at the usual spot. Make your way to the red door on the...
Are we sure Hero really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hero wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say?
Took a step a bit later, but I can hold it.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. You miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. I cannot.
This should prove it.
I have two more hits to fuck up. I just had to
Proof that the dolly knew. I have it right here.
aim wide, like.
When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's trail. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room, and as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Fuck next time on Danganronpa. The big points of case 3, Danganronpa. Last time we had the evidence and the bullet time battle.
Yeah. The subject of how
So now we're talking about Taka's body being moved and everything else.
What is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
You sure about that, Sakura?
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Going back into another argument yet? What's the one, two? So, pause please. The costume, pause please. Trying to make sure don't mess this up. So the equipment room bloodstain, the repository dollars, the costume.
And from there, the body was moved to the
Dolly, handle, bend over this,
If you accept, then you must realize that... sorry, I don't think I... As we know, and from there...
Yeah, the cop then loaded it onto the dolly.
Now, keep in mind that the dolly...
Well, yeah. But even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
No, it's wrong. You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember? When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember,
He needed help getting it off, and there was a buckle in the back. Oh, hold on. Sure.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said? So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individuals inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it before we rush to a verdict. Shouldn't we explore every single possibility instead of seizing on one viewpoint? The truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Speaking on chapter 2, I'm looking over at the
This series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then.
Touche.
Let's take another look back at. I suppose we could start. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall.
And
Soon after that, Hina found some.
it seems I know it was an hour, because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving,
when Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor, and soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone.
there was Aoi and Byakuya up on the 3rd floor at the time.
and then,
And that was when we
at
found
that point we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect.
Should I put Toka with you? I don't know, yeah, with you, but I'm glad they put him with.
And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what
Happened when we found Toka.
Taka's body in the equipment
Taka,
room.
not Toka.
We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Oh,
So that's when everything else kind of comes into play. So they're just reiterating what happened. We were to the night station, the physics lab, Red and Celeste.
we rushed back to the nurse's office and
Hold on. Took her past out in the equipment room and headed back.
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after
I
some
don't know how that's in front of the door. There's like 2 missing dead bodies. It's like,
Celeste informed us that
what?
she found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
Corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation, and from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
There you go, let's go. Argument time. When the human found the mystery. So
I wonder if what perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed, but Taka came last.
the number.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the justice hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with
Oh yeah.
Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came So, I wonder if what perhaps it was. We already know Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the justice hammers.
What? I missed it. I'm on literally my last
I
room.
wonder if what perhaps it was. We
I hope
already
I
know
don't.
what order Taka came last.
Okay.
Because of the numbering.
It's true
Okay.
that while Taka's dead,
See? So it's obvious Taka came. So, I wonder if he died before, or perhaps it was after. We already know what order they were killed in.
What? So that's not it either, versus game over. Failed. Rip. How is it wrong?
I refuse to give up yet.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 hearts. So my must have had the leftover health from the last game.
So, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after.
We already know.
So the order wasn't it.
Because of the numbers.
The numbering.
while Taka's death came.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Yep. So it's literally that
I
first
wonder if
2.
he died before Hifumi, or
So we're gonna
perhaps
try
it
the
was
numbering
after.
again.
We already know what order they were killed in.
So that's not right. Maybe it is the one I'm supposed to use. The dormant
I
board.
wonder if what perhaps it was.
So maybe it's. It's not the right one. I don't know, this is like throwing me out. Maybe I need to switch boards.
I wonder if he died before Hifumi. Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's...
I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
The Justice Hammer were numbered, but were they were using an order? They were reversed because Taka died first and they used number 4 where Hifumi died second and used number 3. They were not.
So, regarding Taka's death, I
So
wonder if he died before Hifumi.
Or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3,
yep.
while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka, I wonder if he or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
No, that's not right.
So,
Meaning my buttons are wrong. And I can't switch boards.
Perhaps it was after?
Meaning
already know what order they were
not
killed
that
in.
one.
Taka came last.
Nope.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with just while Taka's death.
See?
I missed it that time, but I swear like that's
So,
literally what it is.
we already know Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Wrong. So I don't know what to really shoot.
So, regarding
Maybe it's the A button.
I wonder if he died before perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Something's not right within this world.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Am I trying to hit anything and everything
I
now?
wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
I'm gonna just try
We know
everything.
what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Yeah, it's just not there.
Regarding...
So, M4 gauge, wrong statement. I mean, M4 says you're in the case. I mean, you'll have to restart. The focus gauge, concentration, fast forward, weak spots. When the character is talking, some text may appear in yellow. So weak spots represents a potential lie or contradiction in the argument. Multiple responses may appear, so it's up to you to figure out the right one. Or as you move forward in the class trial. Hit Y once you have it on whatever triple you order. Hold down the L button to open the cylinder and move the left stick. Meaning,
I wonder if he died before he
I'm
did
holding my L button,
it was after.
meaning I don't have
Know
one.
what order they were killed in.
I just have Monokuma 3. Holding down the R button can concentration slow it down. That's, I already read that. Press L to quickly load while murder in the order, meaning I don't have one or my button doesn't work. True flashback. If you target a weak spot, hold down the Y button. You can use that as a weak spot to triple order. That's a flashback. Silencer with the white noise. You can white noise. So,
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the
It's true that Hifumi was killed with just his
While
numbers.
Taka's dead,
C. So it's obvious Havoc came after.
So, I wonder if he died before, or perhaps it was after.
We already know what order they were killed in.
no, I pressed the wrong button.
Shoot.
So,
I wonder if or perhaps it was. We already know what Otaka came last.
what makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with just
While Taka's dead,
See?
Yeah.
So it's obvious Havoc came.
so, I wonder if or perhaps it was after.
We already know what order they were killed.
There we go.
no, it's wrong.
It's like I don't. It's gotta be the second one, but then you could hold Y.
There's no
It's been a
reason to
while.
assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
It's gonna be. Oh no, not this again.
Now I understand.
The wristwatch was at 6. Meaning who
I got it.
Daka.
Taka's wristwatch.
Hifumi died at 7.
It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
Last night he was awake.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
Yep.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And
Hour
of course,
before.
Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us, and we made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
Which was after nighttime.
We're all safe. When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body. That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Yufumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi. Or, on the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko.
There's a lot to take in.
Well, for now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how.
One of the 5 questions: how, who, where, when, why.
In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said,
A minute or two, meaning going to the bathroom, which we think the bathrooms are in the 2 bedrooms, because there's no old public bathrooms that I can think of. It could be one in the pool area, because they would have to go upstairs. And then there's none in the kitchen, in the cafeteria or the kitchen, I don't think. There's none in the laundry room. Could be in the bathhouse room where Alter Ego would have been. But physically, literally speaking, there was no way in how they could have got from the rooms in the back of the hall to the nurse's room and back in 2 minutes. Maybe. And also get Hifumi's heavy body up to the 3rd floor from the 1st floor.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. And to carry that much weight from the 1st floor up to the 3rd in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What?
If the dead body were to move itself.
And then a corpse?
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... No!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead. Perhaps in reality, he was still alive.
Alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
Dormant board, meaning this is another green board. Broken his watch.
Are you saying that when
I'm
we
looking
first
for the
found
body
Hifumi
which
in the nurse's
had been
office,
found.
There's a chance he was actually
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, And you know that surely prepared the body to Kifumi's dead body had been, and that is
Yeah.
why the announcement was made.
So it's
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance you...
No. It is in Kifumi was dead, and you know that surely prepared the body to Kifumi's dead body had been found. Are we really?
Yeah,
Maybe the
so
announcement
3 and
was intended
5.
to signal someone else's.
I mean 7 and 8 and 10.
There's a chance you...
No. Kifumi was dead, and you know that surely you heard the body discovery announcement, along with the rest of Kifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that?
Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
No, I did not want that.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance you...
No. It is impossible. Kifumi was dead. Without, and you know that surely you heard the body to Kifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so...
Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
What?
Shoot!
Okay, so it must be other way.
Saying that when we first there's a chance you...
No. Kifumi was dead, and you know that how? Surely you heard the body to Kifumi's dead, and that is
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement
Was intended to signal
someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance you...
No. It is impossible. Kifumi was dead. Without it, and you know that surely you heard the body discovery and Kifumi's dead body had been found.
No!
That's the only way that that would actually make better sense. That's the other way. So I grabbed the latest one. Oh shit. So I haven't found the body was a scary master.
But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, that does answer the question, because that would have meant only 2 people found Hifumi's, or 2 or less people found Toko's body before someone found 3 for the market. I think there's only 8 of us left right now alive. 2 died. So if only 1 or 2 people found Toko's body before a 3rd person did, and it just happened that the 3rd person was Byakuya and myself, that would give it 4 for that one, and everyone knew Hifumi was already dead at that point. So it's likely that if 2 people only found it, that's another good
That
question.
was plenty. He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Because there was 2 different bodies.
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository.
Yep.
didn't seem weird at the time. But it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
Taka's body. I already made that assumption, and that's
So
right.
when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
That's another good thing. Or because Taka was dead at 6 and everyone else was still asleep till 7. So that's the first thing happened. Because nighttime is from 10 to 7. So that gives you an idea that everyone could have been asleep till 7 and only seen Taka about it twice.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is fun.
Well, here's one thing we did the first time we found him again.
His glasses.
And the next time we saw his body,
It was in, but when you compare his body with other
His glasses.
there was no notable difference.
Then, was he really
Oh, again. I got it.
Well, here's one. The first time we found him again, his body.
And the next time it was in.
But when you compare his body with other than the chain, there was no.
Then, was he really
Of course, it is impossible.
There's one area that I thought.
Well, here's one. The first time we found him dead, his body disappeared.
And the next time it was in.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
No, it's wrong.
What was the difference? His glasses was the difference. And evidence was the cleaning
There's
cloth.
one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the items used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can. I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean, and the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Pibbles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
The attention is all I need.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is...
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
It must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead, then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
Don't you love when you take a sip and you get a funny little copious quote, something of a copious, I think of like a cornucopia from like Thanksgiving, meaning something big, abundant, and fat.
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere. But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Most Hifumi.
I got it! It could only have been food.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Well, after the bodies disappeared,
She didn't know it was locked because she was knocked out at a locked room with 2 dead bodies. Like, what else?
so me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside.
Meaning, Hifumi took Taka's body into the repository and locked the door behind him. Meaning, how they got in there is a mystery because when I started this session, they were in there. But we'll find out the actual reason that they come up with next time.